Kind of a random little video here today, guys. We are currently experiencing third winter here in the Maritimes. But I wanted to give you a little winter sowing update. The weather seemed appropriate. And then I get a little sidetracked and show you some cool tech that I use to track things. Alright, little update on the winter sowed things. I brought them indoors just for a few minutes so I can make sure each pot is well watered, but I just wanted to take a run through what has actually sprouted. So some of these things are large enough you can see, some of them you'll just have to take my word for it, but we've got bachelor buttons that are all coming up. This was the slower variety, but it's coming now. We've got some night scented stalks. Some Kelway chamomile, I think it's called, winter density lettuce, garlic kale, spinach, calendula just starting. We've got some lupins just starting, a Siberian iris, onions, oriental poppy, forget-me-not just starting, one little sprout there. Sweet William and Strawflower also just starting. So that is just about, see if I can get everything in the same shot here. That's about a third so far of everything that I have in here. I think one observation, the first things, I kind of planted these in a succession. They weren't all planted at the same time. It was how I got around to it. As I got around to it, I guess, is how they were planted. I don't think it matters so much, you know, the first things that I planted were not the first things that sprouted, I guess is my point. I think more importantly, the things that will sprout first are the things that are meeting the conditions that they require first. So we still have quite a few things we're waiting for, and I'm expecting a lot of these are not going to germinate because I think I mentioned when I seeded some of them that a lot of these were older seeds that I had kicking around and may or may not sprout. But you know, so far it's the first week of April. Our conditions are just starting to warm up nicely. Our evenings are, I would say, on average about -3 degrees Celsius overnight. We do have one night this week forecasted to be -7, and after that I think -3 is about the coldest, at least in the long range forecast. So I expect a lot of these things might be starting now, and our daytime temperatures, you know, they're not quite double digits yet, but they are definitely warming up. They're, for about a week or two, you know, they've been steadily warming and they're fairly consistently above freezing every day now. I do have a temperature sensor in here. I have a little digital one that has 3 little probes that you can put in different areas. So I am taking in and out some of my cold flowers right now, and I have a probe in with them so I can monitor them. And they're consistently a few degrees cooler than what is in this container. On a sunny day, it's about 7 degrees warmer than it is just ambient outdoor temperature. So fairly soon I'm gonna have to start. I haven't been taking the cover off during the day, but fairly soon I will have to start. As we reach the double digits, I don't want this to be, you know, 10 degrees warmer. I might cook my little babies. So it's nice to have that probe so that I can easily monitor, just glance at the screen and see what the temps are like. But You can certainly do it without. You just have to make sure you're checking on bright sunny days. So that's where we're at with the winter sowing. We are currently experiencing second winter. Might be third winter at this point, but I think this is the last hurrah before spring finally has her go and things start moving in the garden. Okay, I wanted to show you my thermometer here. So the big number is the temperature where this is. We just walked outside, so you'll probably see it start to go down here shortly. We are currently in the middle of a snowstorm. I have my plants outside. They weren't getting snowed on earlier. I may take them in, I may not. It's not actually as cold out as it seems. So the middle number there, I have a temperature probe stuck in one of these trays. So that's the temperature that they're currently experiencing. The 34.3, that is actually in the winter sow box there. So there's about a degree and a half difference right now on a stormy, overcast day. On a sunny day, there's a lot bigger difference. And the 70 is the temperature inside the house. So you can see that big number starting to go down. But I have found this thing to be quite handy, and ignore the relative humidity numbers there because they're in Ziploc bags out here to protect them from the moisture. So it doesn't actually represent the humidity. And the third probe is just in the house where I had this one. I did have it down in the basement with the dahlias. But I have found this to be a handy thing to have for situations like this, so I'm not guessing. If I was left to my own devices, these would be in the house. I would think it was far too cold and harsh out for them. But like, you know, it's 33, it's a degree above freezing. And these things are all very cold hardy. We've got Lisianthus, bachelor's buttons, snapdragons, ranunculus, anemones, sweet peas. I think most of these things can handle it. So it's the next day here, guys. It's actually sunny out today, and I just wanted you to be able to see the difference of being in that winter sown container versus being outside of the winter sown container. So the 43.7 is just like ambient temperature on our front porch. It's a little warmer up there than it is down in the yard. And the 57.2 is the temperature inside that little winter sown container that I've been using, that like Rubbermaid container. So I thought some of you might find this interesting. This was fairly cheap. I got it a couple years ago on Amazon, and I know they're similar, if not the exact same, still on there. And I did a couple months ago get a new toy that we're gonna play with here in a few weeks, but I'll save that for another time. But it's kind of along these lines as well. So I hope you are having a good day, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.